So we are performing Murph as tomorrow's workout. It's Memorial Day in the States, tradition throughout the world for people to perform Murph. First thing to say is a word of caution in that if you haven't performed any kind of pull-ups, ring rows for the last 2 to 3 months, then be careful how you scale this workout, because pull-ups have a great risk of rhabdomyolysis. That's when your muscles are basically worked too hard and it breaks down into your bloodstream. So just make sure that you scale this appropriately. Don't go in and put a weighted vest on and do pull-ups for the first time in 3 months. There's loads of options for pull-ups. I know that in classes we've been working inside and we've been doing exercises where we've been doing rows, single arm, double arm rows, banded rows. I wanted to give you a few more different options that are a bit more close to a pull-up. And I'm using the space of my garden to demonstrate there's a multitude of options available. First of all, obviously, if you have a tree and you can do them, I haven't got necessarily the strongest tree in the world, so I will do them close to the tree here and do them on one branch like so. Because that is a strict pull-up, make sure that you are scaling appropriately. I could try and do it this way, but I think this branch will break, so I'm doing single arm. But obviously if you've got a strong enough branch to do 2-arm pull-ups, use that. The other use of a tree, or anything else that's solid in your garden, you can even use door handles if the doors are solid, is attach a towel like so, walk your feet out, and you will get yourself inverted row. Okay, a towel row. This is a great exercise because not only are you training the upper back and biceps, also very good on grip strength. In fact, we use towel pull-ups to recreate rope climbs, so it's a great option. Those of you that don't have some form of tree and maybe are doing it inside, 2 other options for you here. The first one we have to be a little bit cautious of. I haven't got the strongest chairs, so I'm going to take this even more carefully. I was also going to demonstrate this with a step ladder and a workbench, but basically you need a level surface to put something across, something that's not going to break as well. No kipping on this one. You'll see me scale this a little bit to make sure that I don't break my chairs. So I'm going to put my feet under my knees. You can go straight out, but I don't know if these chairs will take my weight, which I know would be a good funny video if it doesn't. From here, you do your inverted rows. And of course, make sure they are nice and strict and stable, because otherwise you'll be pulling that chairs on top of yourself, and it'll be a great moment on Zoom that we will record. The other thing you can do is, if you have a sturdy table, move this out your way, what we can do is we can go down the length of the table like so, use the long end here. Excuse me, chair. Move my dog out of the way. I will hold it slightly more this way just because it's less likely to tip. Okay, you could hold it here if it's strong enough and heavy enough. This is quite a light table here. And again, either with legs bent or legs straight, you perform those body weight rows. Because there's not a great multitude in terms of how you can modify the intensity. Obviously, if you can do the towel rows, you can change the amount of incline, but it does depend on how your tree or whatever you're using is angled. I suggest that you scale the volume. If you are performing, move around so the sun's not straight on top of me there. If you are performing strict movements, especially particularly tough, strict pull-ups, you might think about scaling the number of pull-ups down. I know that in the original Murph, there wasn't really kipping pull-ups because they hadn't actually been invented, I suppose you could say, by then. So most people were doing them strict. So you can put those in, and I know that Libya is going to try it. But just be really careful with those. I wouldn't suggest doing jumping pull-ups if you haven't done them for a while, because sometimes when you get that eccentric, often when you jump, maybe not quite strong enough to control it on the way down, and that is where the chance of getting your biceps blow up and causing injury can happen. So obviously we have our pull-ups. Make sure whatever you're doing, you're maintaining good form throughout, strong core, tight body, full range of motion. If you can get to a full straight arm position, then do. Obviously, if you're doing those bodyweight dumbbell rows, you can make sure you're doing that all the way through. I would say if you've got light weight only, then double or even treble the reps in that. And if you're doing a single arm motion, do 100 each side, or if it's lighter, you might even do 200 each side. Make sure you watch my video that I put out this morning on Facebook. It talks about rep standards. Murph is notorious for crappy reps. So make sure the standards of your reps are full range of motion. Now let me just show you these one more time. Chest, you start at full extension, you go chest to the floor and then back up. And chest to the floor doesn't mean hips to the floor and worm up. That is not a press up, okay? Chest to the floor and back up. If you cannot perform a press up of good standard throughout, scale it by elevating yourself onto a box. Do not just think, oh, I'll just do crap ones, all right? Full range of motion. If you want to improve your ability to press, you need to be pressing from a full range of motion. Squats below parallel, back up to full standing, okay? I see so many people, first of all, not breaking parallel, okay? I know I'm guilty of that when I'm stiff. The other thing, but I see more often, is this. Just because your legs are straight doesn't mean it's still a squat, okay? This is not a squat. This is what we call full extension because my hips are extended, okay? Just because my legs are extended doesn't mean that my hips are fully extended. So make sure you come all the way to standing. We've got a 1 mile run. If you cannot run, if you cannot leave the house, the substitution for that is 8 minutes of burpees. So whatever would take you 8 minutes to do, which is going to be around between 70 to 100 burpees, which is going to be horrendous. But that is, I would suggest, your option because it's supposed to be a real challenge for you guys. I hope you enjoy the workout. Scale it appropriately. Make sure you don't bust your biceps because you haven't done pull-ups so long you put something into it. And I shall be doing it this afternoon, this morning time, because I won't have time to do it tomorrow. So I'll post that video on there. You can have a little look at me doing pull-ups in a tree, see how long that takes. Thanks for watching, guys, and I shall see you in the week.